Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Erin Noon, and you're watching 13 News Now.
Welcome to 13 News Now.
We're going to break down the day's headlines. West Virginia schools will open on the target date of Tuesday, September 8th, but parents, students, and teachers will have choices. And even now, it's still a subject to the coronavirus.
Then we're going to make that child's education, along with all the children's education that choose not to come to the schools, virtual, and we will absolutely deliver a quality education, all K through.
At the governor's COVID-19 briefing, he laid out specific plans for West Virginia K through 12 students to return to the classroom. The previous target date of September 8th will in fact be opening day for Mountain State Public Schools. It will be up to each county, but on that date, students can attend classes inside their schools. But if they or their parents are uncomfortable with that, they will have options. In Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear says he supports local school leaders who decide to begin the school year with online instruction as a precaution against COVID-19. Beshear says he's not surprised some school districts are opting for digital learning at the outset of the school year. He recently recommended that schools wait until at least the third of the week of August to resume in-person classes to help curb the spread of the virus. A lengthy FBI affidavit detailing an alleged $60 million corruption scheme led by one of Ohio's most powerful politicians is filled with references to unnamed groups and individuals who helped aid the conspiracy. Clues in the affidavit, public records, and media reports have helped identify groups. Republican Ohio House member Larry Householder was deposed as Speaker on the same day last week that he was indicted in the racketeering conspiracy along with the group he led and 4 other individuals. Prosecutors allege nearly all the money spent on the scheme came from First Energy Corp affiliates. A recent study gives Charleston the dubious honor of being the fastest shrinking small city in the United States. The business insurance company Adversmith analyzed U.S. Census data over a 5-year period and found that Charleston's population had a negative 1.5% rate, ahead of Albany, Georgia, and Decatur, Illinois, who came in 2nd and 3rd places. Still, the city says things are looking up for now. The city says they're working on bringing younger people and teleworkers to the city with more downtown living opportunities and improved broadband access. The U.S. Census Bureau has decided to move the deadline to respond to the census from October 31st to September 30th, an entire month earlier than previously decided. Today, U.S. Senator Joe Manchin released a statement regarding that decision. He says, quote, "The extra month is vital to an accurate count since many door-knocking programs and other in-person outreach efforts were halted due to the pandemic. This change hurts West Virginia, and I will be asking the Census Bureau to reverse their decision and give every West Virginian and American the chance to be counted." Kentucky Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman has announced that a statue of Nettie Depp, an education reformer and Kentucky native, will be unveiled in the state capitol next August. Depp is the first woman to be honored in sculpture in the Capitol building. In the early 20th century, Depp was a school reformer and suffragist, as well as the first woman elected to public office in Barron County. And we have that full story on our website, WOWKTV.com. Speaking of our website, let's take a look at the top trending stories you can find there at this hour. Charleston, West Virginia, the fastest shrinking small city in the United States. Governor Justice says schools will reopen safely on September 8th. And we have a beautiful beach. Myrtle Beach officers remind vacationers of beach rules, and you can find all those and much more on our website. Now let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Spencer Atkins, who is in our weather lab. Spencer, good evening.
Hey, it is a good evening, Erin. It really is. It feels great out there. Let's start off with a peek here out the window in Charleston. A magnificent night, low humidity values, and just a few clouds, no showers out there. So it's just phenomenal. Now, you were talking about census and population numbers. Well, glad to be here as the weather dude in the box. We took a little survey and did our own census of the number of meteorologists here today. That would be 1. So just checking in on that. Okay, let's watch now what's happening, and in this case, what's not happening on the Doppler radar, Viper real-time radar. There you can see it's all quiet. The nearest storms are to the south, and there you can see southwestern Virginia, a couple of storms. They would maybe like to creep on up in our neighborhood with limited success. Let's show you what happens now on Predictor. It is pretty quiet overnight. Now, you might see a little sprinkle try to break out in the eastern panhandle first thing in the morning, but all the showers and storms are really in the far southern counties of West Virginia, southeastern Kentucky. So your southern coal fields, your mountainous areas, out toward the Summersville area and to the east. So that's where the bulk of the storm activity happens. Let's watch. This is a brand new look at it. The rain comes up to just about Charleston and fades on that version of the weather model. So let's say maybe a late splash up to I-64. Most of your day is dry, though, on Friday. Here you go on Friday afternoon. Again, maybe just a teeny cell here or there. Most of the activity just a little outside to the east of Richwood and to the south of the viewing area proper. So the rainfall, if you look at the areas in green, sure, there might be up to an inch between a couple of rounds of showers in places like Logan, but you just go up the road to the north, you get to Hamlin, it's 5/100ths and barely anything at all, maybe just a little trace across other portions of the viewing area. So in terms of temperatures, there you go. There's the trend warming up. 40% chance of storms south and east for Thursday, south and east for Friday, 30% chance, and then it looks dry for most of us, only a 10% chance Sunday. Highs near 90, and then we stay in the 90s, and the humidity comes back, and so we bring in a bigger chance for rain next week. So we'll keep an eye on all things weather here and have that for you on TV with an updated look at Predictor and more coming up at 11 o'clock on 13 News at 11.
Spencer, thank you so much for that weather update, and you can catch him again on 13 News at 11. Now, before we go, a lot of people like to take their pets with them to do outdoor activities. So what do you do if you want to go paddleboarding and your pet is a goat? Check this out. Alyssa Kelly of Boise, Idaho takes her 5-year-old dwarf pygmy goat across Minister Mayhem with her. He has more than 20 paddleboarding trips under his horns, and he's only taken 2 spills since starting his water sports career. He even wears a life jacket and goggles. Let me tell you guys, he does better than me. My first time paddleboarding fell right off, so kudos to the goat. Well, that's actually going to do it for 13 News Now. Make sure to stay up to date with everything local, breaking, and trending at WOWKTV.com and, of course, our mobile app. Also, tune into 13 News at 11 with Jennifer, Rob, and Spencer. We'll see you here again tomorrow at 9 p.m. Have a great evening.